If your phone shows a delivery notification from an app you never downloaded, don't open the door. I used to think that was just a stupid rule my grandmother made up, until 3 weeks ago when I found out exactly why she made it. My name doesn't matter. What matters is what happened on the night of October the 14th in a rental house at the edge of a town so small it doesn't show up on most maps. I'd just moved in, boxes everywhere, no internet yet, just me, a mattress on the floor, and a phone at 11% battery. I'd taken the place because the rent was almost nothing. Now I understand why. The landlord had been strange about it now that I think back. He wouldn't meet me in person. Everything was handled through a lockbox and a text message. When I asked him why the price was so low, he just wrote, "Some houses need someone living in them, doesn't matter who." I didn't think much of it at the time. That first night, the notification came through. "Your package has arrived. Please collect at the door." The app icon was a plain gray box. No name, no logo. I hadn't ordered anything. I checked my email for order confirmations. Nothing. I checked my bank app for a charge. Nothing. I even scrolled back through my phone's App Store history to see when I'd installed it. There was no record of it ever being downloaded. It was just there, like it had always been there, waiting. I should have ignored it. I didn't. I opened the front door, and there was nothing there. No package, no delivery van pulling away, just the porch light flickering, and past it, the dark shape of the woods that bordered the property. I stood there for a second too long. Long enough to notice that the crickets had stopped, every single one of them, all at once, like someone had hit mute on the whole night. Even the wind seemed to hold still, like it was waiting to see what I'd do next. I went back inside and locked the door, told myself it was a glitch, some scam app that installed itself during setup. I didn't think about it again until the next night, when it happened again. Same message, same gray icon, same empty porch, except this time, when I stepped back inside, I noticed something on the doormat. A single word, written in what looked like chalk, but smeared, like it had been drawn by a finger. Look. I hadn't written it. I live alone. I spent that night going through every window and door in the house, checking the locks twice, sometimes 3 times. At some point, exhausted, I fell asleep sitting up on the mattress with a kitchen knife across my lap. I told myself it was for peace of mind. It didn't work. By the 4th night, I'd stopped answering the door altogether. I sat on my mattress with all the lights on, watching the handle, waiting for the notification to appear again. It came at exactly 11:47 p.m., same as every night before, down to the minute, like something was keeping perfect time. "Your package has arrived." This time I didn't move, and that's when I heard it, a sound I can only describe as fingers, dozens of them, dragging slowly across the outside of the front door, not knocking, not trying to get in, just touching, testing, like something was counting the boards, learning the shape of the house from the outside in. Then a voice, soft, almost polite, coming from just outside. "You have to sign for it." I didn't answer. The dragging stopped, and in the silence that followed, I heard my own front door creak open, even though I know that I had locked it. I hadn't moved from the mattress. But the door was open anyway, and standing in the frame, backlit by the porch light, was a shape roughly the height of a person, wearing what looked like a delivery uniform 2 sizes too large, the fabric hanging off it in a way that suggested there wasn't quite a normal body underneath. Its head tilted at an angle no neck should allow, like it was studying me the way you'd study a shelf you were deciding what to take from. It held out a clipboard. "Sign here," it said, "and I'll leave you alone." I didn't sign. I slammed the door and shoved my dresser against it, and I didn't sleep that night or the next. On the 6th day, I finally worked up the nerve to talk to my neighbor, an older man named Walt who'd lived on that road his whole life. I found him out by his mailbox and asked him, as casually as I could manage, if he knew anything about a delivery app, a gray icon, a figure in an oversized uniform. His face went the color of paper. He set down the newspaper he was holding like it had suddenly gotten too heavy. He told me the house I was renting used to belong to a family named the Hargroves. 3 of them, a mother, a father, and a teenage son. 20 years ago, they all signed for a package on the same night and were never seen again. Their car was still in the driveway. Their dinner was still on the table, untouched, the candles burned down to puddles of wax. The only thing missing was a stack of blank paperwork on the kitchen counter, and 3 signatures, torn clean out of it. Walt said the police looked into it for a while, called it a family that skipped town over debt, but he'd known the Hargroves his whole life. And he said people don't leave their shoes by the door, their coats on the hooks, and their son's homework half finished on the table if they're planning on running anywhere. He told me the notifications don't stop until someone signs, and once you sign, you don't get a receipt, you get replaced. Someone new, wearing your face, walking around town for a while, doing your job, talking to your friends, sleeping in your bed, before it too gets a package to deliver, and someone else takes its place. On and on, a chain of doors opening in the middle of the night, all the way down the years. He told me not to open the door again, not ever, not even if it sounded like someone I loved. I asked him why he was still here, on this road, so close to that house. He looked at me for a long moment before he answered. Because it already came for me once, he said, 30 years ago, and I didn't sign. If you don't sign either, it eventually moves on to the next house. It always finds someone new eventually. I just never thought it would be so soon again. That answer didn't comfort me the way he probably meant it to. I went back to the house that evening and did everything I could think of. I unplugged my phone entirely and buried it in a drawer. I nailed a board across the inside of the front door. I put salt along the windowsills, something my grandmother used to do, something I'd always rolled my eyes at as a kid. I don't know if any of it would work. I just needed to be doing something with my hands. That night, the notification came anyway, even with the phone buried in the drawer, powered off, the battery pulled if I could have managed it. I heard the chime through the wood of the dresser drawer, like it didn't need a battery at all. Your package has arrived. Please collect at the door. This is your final notice. I sat in the dark, dresser against the door, board nailed across the frame, and I didn't move. The dragging fingers came again, slower this time, more deliberate, working their way along every inch of the frame like they were searching for a gap, a weak point, a place where the wood had shrunk with age. Then the voice returned, except it wasn't soft anymore. It wasn't polite. It was my voice. "Let me in," it said, using my exact tone, my exact words, the way I'd say them to a friend. "It's just me. I forgot my key. It's cold out here. Come on, let me in." For one terrible second, I almost believed it. I almost stood up. My hand actually reached for the dresser before I caught myself. But I thought of Walt's face. I thought of the Hargroves' untouched dinner, the candles burned to puddles, the homework left half finished, and I stayed exactly where I was, silent, digging my nails into my own palm to keep myself still, until the first gray light of morning came through the window, and the voice, and the dragging, and the cold weight pressing against the door, all of it simply stopped, all at once, like it had never been there at all. When I finally opened the door that morning, the porch was empty. No package, no chalk writing, just a single business card sitting neatly on the mat, blank except for one line of small gray text. "We'll try again tomorrow." I called Walt before I even finished reading it. He didn't sound surprised. He just told me to pack what I could carry and leave the rest, and to not look back at the house once I was in my car, no matter what I heard behind me. I moved out that same day. I didn't take my mattress. I didn't take my boxes. I took my phone from the drawer, wrapped it in a towel like it might still be listening, and I threw it into the river on the way out of town. I watched it sink and told myself that was the end of it. For a while, it was. I got a new apartment 2 towns over, new job, new number. I didn't tell anyone where I'd gone, not even Walt, though I still think about him sometimes, standing by his mailbox with that tired, knowing look on his face. But last week, I got a new phone. And 2 nights ago, at 11:47 p.m., an app I never downloaded sent me a notification. "Your package has arrived. I haven't opened my front door since. I've called out for pizza delivery to leave food at the end of the driveway instead of the porch. I've stopped answering when someone knocks, even during the day, even when it's a voice I recognize, especially when it's a voice I recognize. I don't know how long I can keep doing this. I don't know if moving again will do any good, or if it'll simply find the next address the way it found this one. All I know is what Walt told me, the last thing he said before I drove away from that road for good. It doesn't need everyone, he said. It only needs someone. So the longer you say no, the more likely it becomes that eventually it turns to someone else. Just make sure that someone isn't you. If your phone ever shows a delivery notification from an app you never downloaded, don't open the door. And if you hear your own voice on the other side of it, asking to be let in, remember this: the real you would already know better than to ask.